On July 2nd, 1982, Walters attached 43 of the balloons to his lawn chair, filled them with helium, put on a parachute, and strapped himself into the chair in the backyard of his home. When his friends cut the cord that tied his lawn chair to his Jeep, Walter's lawn chair rose rapidly to a height of about 16,000 feet and was spotted from 2 commercial airliners. Hey everyone, welcome to Wiki University, the podcast that combines comedy and learning. I'm your professor, Kyle Berseth, and as always, I'm joined by the head of the class, the guy that is always asking for extra credit. He's always asking, what about the homework? You forgot to assign the homework. Jheisson Nunez.
Extra credit J is what they used to call me.
ECJ.
ECJ.
They used to call you that.
They used to call me that, and then I stopped going to school. But that's why I picked things back up here at Wiki University.
Thank goodness.
To get my associates.
Your
my double associates. I got my first associate already.
Your DA.
Yeah, but I'm getting my DA. My what?
Double associates.
Yeah.
Oh, boy.
I got a lot to learn, as you can see.
Yeah, it's going to be on the quiz.
Well, everybody, welcome back. And if it's your first time, thanks for joining us. But first and foremost, please like and review us on Spotify and or Apple Podcasts. And now, let's get started with some learning, and then maybe afterwards, some burning.
Okay, learning and burning here on Wiki. Ew, wow, it is summer sessions,
It is summer.
man.
It's getting hot in here. I'm burning, baby.
All right. You know, my topic that I brought to class last time was Los Angeles related.
And this time,
also Los Angeles related. This is just by coincidence, but
okay.
I saw it online. I didn't even read through it too much.
Okay.
But it's called...
Is it a person, place, or thing? Can I guess after you tell me that? So person, place, or thing.
Well, that's tough.
That's a clue.
It involves a person.
Okay.
Doing a thing.
Okay. A bad thing or a good thing?
That's
the last thing. That's that last one, and I'll go for it.
I'll say a good thing.
You'll say
for me, to me, not for me. To me, it's a good thing.
To you is a good thing.
But to some people, it may have been considered a nuisance.
Maybe some sort of let's see, you're a homeowner, so maybe something to do with like some sort of trash pickup or like in front of the outside of the house.
I'm insulted, Jheisson,
what?
that you would suggest that my topic today is some sort of trash pickup.
No,
outside
I'm just saying
of the house.
It's related to like the upkeep of the exterior of your home, and so that's because you said it's a nuisance to some people, but it's good for you. So I was just thinking of it, trying it from your point of view.
My topic today is condo associations.
Hey, I was kind of close.
I'm
with
joking. That's not my topic. Are you kidding me?
I kind of thought it was.
Oh man. I can't believe how excited you were.
I was a little excited.
You were excited about the guest, not
right. Oh yeah, most
not
definitely.
the topic.
No. The topic probably was going to be boring if that was the case.
Exactly. Who would come to class with that as their topic?
But my guess was exciting as hell.
Your guess sucked.
Nah, I think I tried to.
So my topic today is called Lawnchair Larry Flight.
Lawnchair Larry Flight.
Yeah.
Okay.
So should we just dive in?
Please tell me more. I feel like it's like Larry Flint on like hot air balloons.
No, you're not far off.
Okay.
I mean, it's a Larry. It's not Larry Flint
It's
on
not the
hot
Larry
air
Flint?
balloons.
Okay.
It's Lawnchair Larry.
Okay. It's different Larry.
But it did occur in the summertime, which is one of the reasons I picked this topic. It occurred in the year of my birth, about a month before I was born, on July 2nd, 1982. Larry Walters made a 45-minute flight in a homemade airship made of an ordinary patio chair and 45 helium-filled weather balloons.
How far did he go?
It's a 45-minute flight, so I'm guessing he went as far as the wind took him.
For 45 minutes.
For 45 minutes.
And this happened in 82, you said?
1982. In the Los Angeles area, the aircraft rose to an altitude of about 16,000 feet. And that is
on a lawn chair?
On a lawn chair.
That's so scary.
There's
At
a
what
picture of it.
point do you just call something an aircraft? 1,600 feet? Like,
That's a great
they're calling it an
question.
aircraft,
Right.
and it's just a lawn chair tied to a couple of helium balloons, or
45.
45.
It's quite a few weather balloons, which I don't know. I assume weather balloons.
I feel like they
They're
just
stronger.
they take more weather.
Abuse. Like a bird could run into them and they
Whoa,
wouldn't pop.
allegedly. I'm not going to say that the weather abuses those balloons. It's alleged abuse.
Allegedly. You know, some things have come out about the weather in recent years, and I've been distancing myself, to be honest with you. The aircraft rose to an altitude of about 16,000 feet, drifted from the point of liftoff in San Pedro, California. Are you familiar with San Pedro?
I think that's north of us. I mean,
South. That's down by
south. Okay.
Long Beach.
Okay.
Yeah, there's a port down in that area, and entered controlled airspace near Long Beach Airport.
Whoa.
During the landing, the aircraft became entangled in power lines, but Walters was able to climb down safely.
How so? They didn't. I guess because of the weather balloons.
Well, I think a lot of people have a misconception about power lines. Now, I don't.
That they're all active.
Let me just say, I'm not. What do you always say about a financial?
That you're not you're not an electrician.
I'm not an electrician. I'm not
not a professional electrician.
I think there's something called the power line guys. They have a title, and I'm not one of those. However, I think there is a common misconception that all of these wires are live.
Yeah.
But I do believe they're wrapped in like a plastic sheathing. And when you see on TV shows or the power goes out, usually something falls on the power line, snaps it out of the areas where it's hooking into a transformer.
Yeah.
And that's when sparks start flying.
Right.
So my sense is he got caught in the power lines, but nothing broke.
Oh, right. Nothing sparked
pulled
up
out.
or
Yeah.
right. Okay.
So
It's still scary, I feel like.
Oh,
but,
yeah, you don't want to be dangling.
But I feel like a person who's already 1,600, above sea level on, or maybe not above sea level, but
I feel like 16,000 feet up, you go up in a lawn chair and weather balloons, and you land in power lines, you're probably like better than expected.
but it seems like he kind of planned things out. If he's
Let's
using weather balloons, let's find out a little bit about his background.
This was premeditated. It wasn't a bunch of teens tying weather balloons to his lawn chair while he was sleeping. The flight attracted worldwide media attention and inspired a movie and imitators.
Up?
That's exactly what my thought was.
That's the only thing I can think of.
Here's the background. Al Mingalone, an American photographer for Paramount News, had in 1937 previously used 32 weather balloons for a feature photography assignment at Old Orchard Beach in Maine, while he hung suspended from the balloons by a parachute harness in order to take aerial film footage. Wow, he was like a human drone. Mingalone's mooring rope broke, and he was lifted approximately 700 feet into the air. A clergyman, Father James J. Mullen, spotted the incident, and after a chase of some 13 miles, used a .22 caliber rifle to shoot out two of the balloons, thus allowing the photographer to return safely to the ground.
Wait, so that was also planned? Like, to get down, he needed somebody to shoot one of the balloons down?
I don't know that he was communicating with this priest with a gun.
Okay.
Or clergyman.
And also, this is somebody else. This is not
somebody else.
Larry. This isn't Larry.
I'm guessing this is just in the article as like background of, hey, not the first time this happened.
Right. He walked so Larry could run.
Exactly. Yeah, this guy only got up to 700 feet. And also, he was wearing a harness and had a rope tied to the ground so he could pull himself back in.
Okay.
Which, that does seem in 1937 pretty badass for a photographer.
Right. The photographers, they go out of their way to get that picture,
He also probably had one of those old-timey cameras he had to get under and go poof.
That's right. So that takes a while to set up.
Yeah, at 700 feet. So The photographer returned safely to the ground thanks to the clergyman shooting out the balloons. Lawrence Richard Larry Walters had often dreamed of flying, but was unable to become a pilot in the U.S. Air Force because of his poor eyesight. He first thought of using weather balloons to fly at age 13 after seeing them hanging from the ceiling of a military surplus store. In 1982, he decided to try his flying idea. His intention was to float over the Mojave Desert and then use a pellet gun to burst some of the balloons in order to land. So he brought the gun with him, I guess.
I'm sure the hot Mojave Desert sun wouldn't have popped one. Or I guess not, because they're weather balloons, right?
Do you know how far the Mojave Desert is from here?
No. Or how far it is?
From San Pedro. I mean, I guess maybe we'll find out that plans changed.
Because he also wanted to go past it, right? Like above it. He didn't just want to reach it.
Float over the Mojave.
Go over it, yeah.
Yeah, but the Mojave's like 2 or 3 hour drive.
Is it before Vegas?
It might be after Vegas. I'm going to click on the Mojave Desert. I think it's like Death Valley.
How much are weather balloons? Because I might just take a weather balloon straight to Vegas, baby.
That would be fun.
Because if I make it, I know my luck is going strong.
Don't risk it once you get to Vegas. Tap out.
No way.
Nah,
that's how luck works. It keeps going.
You got to keep going if you got it.
Yeah.
The Mojave Desert is a xeric desert in the rain shadow of the Sierra Nevada mountains in the southwestern United States.
How hot does it get? What's the world record hot in the Mojave Desert?
The world record hot.
Yeah, what's world record hot?
Oh, maybe Joshua Tree is also
a part of it?
A part of it.
How hot
climate,
is Joshua?
Climate. Okay, climate. Record high. Here we go.
January
record is 90 degrees. And then July has the record high of 134.1 degrees.
Ooh, baby.
Ooh, that's hot. Burning.
But it's burning, but it's not that humid though, right?
It's a dry heat.
It's a dry heat.
That'll cook you.
Slow.
Yeah, it's a slow cooking.
Yeah.
It's like
a slow
you'd be
cooker.
like a Peruvian chicken, Jheisson.
Ooh, I mean, I would hope so, because I would start eating myself. I can't find one piece of decent Peruvian chicken around here.
Oh, no.
Yeah, it sucks. Start eating myself.
All right, let's go back to the preparation and flight here.
Preparation and flight.
In mid-1982, Walters and his girlfriend at the time, Carol Van Dusen, purchased 45 8-foot weather balloons and obtained helium tanks from California Toy Time Balloons. Wonder if they're still in business.
Wait, so where did they get the helium balloons? Like what wholesale sells, I'm sorry, not helium balloons, weather balloons?
Well, it sounds like he originally saw them in a military supply store, so I assume military supply store.
By chance didn't say like how much it cost, like those weather balloons?
No, it doesn't say. 45 of them, though.
I feel like
I
that's
imagine
pricey.
That's a little expensive, yeah. We can go to weather balloons next if you want to.
Cool,
it sounds
next.
like you have quite a few questions about
I just want to know the
balloons.
difference between a regular clown party balloon and a weather balloon.
That makes sense.
Like, can you make a little like dog out of a weather balloon? Like a clown.
I'll say no.
Like a clown
But
does with the.
You might be able to put a dog inside a weather balloon. These are
Inside? You don't go inside of a weather balloon, do you?
well, they're 8 feet. They're 8 feet. I don't know if that's probably 8 feet around. So you could put multiple dogs inside a weather balloon.
Well, when you say inside, I don't mean like, how does it inside? That's also another thing. I want to know the difference between that and a hot air balloon.
I think you can shove the dog inside, and then you fill it with helium.
Can the dog just breathe helium? Can dogs just breathe helium?
They bark at a high pitch.
Is this your way of sending dogs to space?
Yes.
You're gonna throw them in a helium balloon?
It would be my first attempt.
Oh, poor little puppies,
One
space
time
puppies.
when I was a kid, someone had a birthday, and it was one of the older kids in the neighborhood, and I remember their dad got them like a helium tank. So we were just they got one for the party or whatever.
Yeah,
so we were just filling helium balloons. And at the end, there's all these balloons. So some You know, when you're a kid, frogs just appear out of wherever. Kids are catching frogs left and right.
Kids know where frogs are.
Yeah.
It's like an intuitive kind of thing.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So a frog appeared.
Yeah.
You got helium balloons and something small enough to be carried by helium balloons.
Huh. So what did you guys do?
Well, I'm gonna say it wasn't me
What did you do?
necessarily, but it was the
Allegedly,
older,
what
it
did
was
you
the
do?
older kids. But I watched like, whoa, this is cool.
So they stuffed a frog.
They put a frog in a box and tied a bunch of helium balloons to it and sent it on its way.
God, it's got to be like the worst way to die. Imagine
Starvation.
Well,
in the air. Or
first-
the coolest.
first off, that's like first off, you just get taped into a coffin. It's like,
True,
you know, so instead of buried, you're locked in a coffin, but in the sky, which is almost worse than being buried, because if you can somehow crack through the box or your coffin,
Yeah.
you're somewhat, I guess, able to come out, or you're still in ground. Whereas poor little frog, if he had any wits about him to even get out, I mean, that's drop dead gorgeous right there.
Eventually, that helium balloon came down. And I hope it landed in a residential area and someone opened the present that was bestowed upon them.
I can tell you that it didn't fall gently. There's 100% chance that it went all the way high enough where like it popped the balloon and the frog just went straight
No
down.
way. You think it went to
Yes.
16,000 feet?
No, but I think it went far enough. Again, these are helium balloons. They're
Yeah.
going to pop way before 16,000 feet.
Are you sure about that?
Yeah, I'm willing to bet that frog had a horrible death.
Oh, I'm willing to bet that.
Not a gentle.
We don't need to bet about that. Agreed.
Little froggy didn't come back to like a gentle, like floating, back into his little
Lily pad.
Lily pad, yeah.
It landed right on a lily pad.
Right.
Well,
Oh man, rest in peace. What did you name him? Oh, you didn't even name him.
Larry.
Larry? Oh shit.
Yeah, weird coincidence.
Larry the frog.
Okay, so
Larry Flint the frog.
in mid 1982, Walters and his girlfriend at the time, Carol Van Dusen, purchased 45 8-foot weather balloons and obtained helium tanks from California Toy Time Balloons. They used a forged requisition from his employer, Film Fair Studios, saying the balloons were for a television commercial. Ah, I like a good caper.
And how many did he use? Because in the beginning of the article it said he used a certain amount. Was it 42? Or did he use all 45?
45.
He used all of them.
I assume so.
Well, didn't it say how many he used in the
Yeah,
beginning?
45.
Okay. Just
Yeah.
making sure. Maybe he bought 35, but only ended up using 30. You might want to, when it comes to
Pad the
those kind of things,
numbers.
yeah, I'd buy more than I need.
I have a
So I can
feeling
get rid of
he
some.
lost his job or was celebrated. It's tough to tell in the film industry.
And also, I'm sure while he's purchasing weather balloons, it's like, why do you need 30,
45?
45? So he's like, oh, no, it's for my company. We're doing a
Yeah,
photo shoot.
exactly. Television commercial. Oh, so interestingly enough, on July 2nd, 1982, Walters attached 43 of the balloons to his lawn chair, filled them with helium, put on a parachute, and strapped himself into the chair in the backyard of his home
Hell yeah.
at 1633 West 7th Street in San Pedro.
Yeah, we got to go down there.
We should go down, check it out on Zillow.
Screenshot that.
Maybe float from the backyard. He took his pellet gun, a CB radio, sandwiches, beer, and a camera. I love this guy.
What kind of beer? Hops?
I don't know.
Heavy on the hops?
Probably not. It was back in the 80s.
That's right.
It was just a can that said beer.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, it wasn't even...
A 6-pack. He got a 6-pack. They didn't have tall boys back
I
then.
wouldn't
did
be
they?
surprised if he took a 12. He's trying to go all the way to the Mojave.
Yeah, he's got to survive the desert.
When his friends cut the cord that tied his lawn chair to his Jeep, Walter's lawn chair rose rapidly to a height of about 16,000 feet and was spotted from 2 commercial airliners. He slowly drifted over Long Beach and crossed the primary approach corridor of Long Beach Airport. He was in contact with REACT, a citizens band radio monitoring organization who recorded their conversation. Do you want to hear the conversation?
Yeah.
REACT said, What information do you wish me to tell the airport at this time as to your location and your difficulty?
Can I play Larry?
Yeah, you can play Larry.
The difficulty is, this was an unauthorized balloon launch, and I know I'm in like federal airspace, and I'm sure my ground crew has alerted the proper authority, but just call them and tell them I'm okay.
And then he cracked a six-pack all at once, all six. After 45 minutes in the sky, Walter shot several balloons, taking care not to unbalance the load.
I get why he was very careful, because then he knew that right after that conversation, he would have to pull out a gun on federal airspace and start shooting down his own aircraft.
Just a pellet gun. I'm surprised. I assume he tested this ahead of time and made sure that the pellet gun was able to break a weather balloon.
Right. Imagine it could, or it just
it just bounces off.
Or he forgets to like get the
pellets.
Yeah, the pellets. Like he forgets the ammo thing at home.
Yeah. After 45 minutes in the sky, Walter shot several balloons, taking care not to unbalance the load. He then accidentally dropped his pellet gun overboard.
It's just a gun on an airspace.
He descended slowly until the balloon's dangling cables got caught in a power line at 432 East 45th Street in Long Beach. The power line broke, causing a 20-minute The power line broke, causing a 20-minute electricity blackout. He landed unharmed on the ground. That's incredible. What a journey. Not very far, though.
Not very far.
Walters was immediately arrested by waiting members of the Long Beach Police Department. Regional Safety Inspector Neil Savoy was reported to have said, quote unquote, "We know he broke some part of the Federal Aviation Act, and as soon as we decide which part it is, some type of charge will be filed. If he had a pilot's license, we'd suspend that, but he doesn't."
That's a little unfair. I feel like they need to go in, because to me, that feels like guilty until proven innocent.
Well, I mean, Lawnchair Larry's up there at 16,000 feet. You just look at that situation and go, there's no way this was approved.
I mean, yeah, of course it wasn't, but I feel like they went a little extra hard. Like, we don't know what he did, but he definitely did not follow the rules, where it's like, well, maybe you need a air balloon Larry
to close the loophole.
Exactly.
On floating up there on a lawn chair.
Because I'm willing to bet without him, you would have some other people try to get away with those kind of things. Might not have ended as nicely as Larry Balloon. What's his name again?
Lawnchair Larry.
Lawnchair Larry.
Are you learning anything,
Nope.
Jheisson?
Are we going to weather balloon?
Do you want to?
Yeah.
All right, let's go to weather balloon. A weather balloon, also known as a sounding balloon, is a balloon that carries instruments aloft to send back information on atmospheric pressure, temperature, humidity, and wind speed by means of a small, expandable measuring device called a radiosonade.
Radioson? Click it. What is it?
Radioson?
Radioson. I don't think it's...
You're skipping the D.
Never skip the D.
Radiosonade is a battery-powered telemetry instrument carried into the atmosphere, usually by a weather balloon that measures various atmospheric parameters. Let's go back to weather balloon here.
So the weather balloon, you're right, it's just that heavy weatherproof balloon.
Here's a good picture for scale of a guy. Now, this is obviously bigger than an 8-foot balloon. This is probably, if that guy's 6 foot, we're 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We're like a 40-foot weather balloon here.
Lawnchair Larry had 8-foot balloons?
8-foot balloons,
and
I believe.
He had 45.
45 of them, yeah. He could have just got one 40-foot balloon. Okay, here's the history. One of the first persons to use weather balloons was Léon Tressenec de Bort, the French meteorologist. Oh, yeah. You remember him.
French Labort?
De Bort? Debord.
Oh, Debord.
Starting in 1896, he launched hundreds of weather balloons from his observatory in Troppes, France. These experiments led to the discovery of the tropopause and stratosphere. I wonder how that gets discovered. Like, he just notices a different weather pattern? Is that...
I thought, wouldn't the weather balloon notice the different weather pattern?
Yeah, but I guess what is the difference? Do you want to go to tropopause? The tropopause is an atmospheric boundary that demarcates the troposphere from the stratosphere, which are two of the 5 layers of the atmospheres of Earth. Do you want to go to the
5 layers? I want to go to the 5 layers.
So we're going to the atmospheres of Earth. Let's zoom out a little bit.
It's the same type of layers. You know how the epidermis has like certain layers? Your skin
a little bit. Go on.
I don't know.
Tell me what you know.
All I know is that I used to play this game. I did play this game once where like you kind of, okay, so you just, it's at the lunch table. It won't hurt right now, but if you did it for a while, basically you just take your hand right there and I would just, no, not even with your nail. With like a penny,
knife.
no, with like a quarter,
Yeah.
You would just like literally rub somebody's hand right, just like that, right? But you would go through the alphabet A, B, C, up to Z.
Okay.
And I say a letter A, you have to say apple. B, banana. C,
car.
D,
dick.
F, or
Fart.
E. So so basically I'm rubbing that while you're by the time you hit the middle of the alphabet, it's starting to hurt and you can't think.
You're having trouble concentrating.
And I think I have
you got a scar?
I have a scar still. It's you kind of, do you see it still?
Yeah, I do
right
see
there.
it. You got that from
I got
the name of the game
and I only
called?
played that game once.
What's the name of the game?
I don't even know the name of the game. Speaking of epidermis, as it was rubbing my skin off, I saw the first layer come out. I saw the second layer come out. I saw the more red layer come out. And I was like, it was very painful. I didn't make it a Z, I don't think.
Yeah, wow. Yeah. The violent game that we played, I'll call it a violent game. I mean, it's like a light violence. Our lunch table game was Bloody Knuckles.
Oh, I know that.
With the quarter, where you
fan.
spin a quarter and then you slam the quarter at each other's knuckles.
You have to keep spinning it, right?
Yeah, if you drop it, then the other person gets to go wham.
I used to slaughter people with that because I was like, I had like a whole technique on how to maximize the penny, like, because I would hit it through the middle. Some people didn't know like how to do it. Some people would just do one thumb.
You got to stand up.
I would
and,
this is
follow
my
through.
You
got to do a Jordan-esque follow through with it, man.
And then the other one was just Bloody Knuckles was a different version. Was just when you don't have any quarters,
but you still want Bloody Knuckles.
Yeah, which I don't advise this at all, and both people don't win in this. But basically, you just you stick your knuckle out, and one person gets the hit. And then that person sticks it out, and then the other person gets it. So it's just at the end,
no skill.
You're just you're fracturing your bones.
Yeah, I don't like that one. Okay, we're on the atmosphere of Earth, believe it or not, commonly known as air.
That's stage 1. That's us right now. That's this.
So the atmosphere of Earth.
Okay, I can smell it. I can taste.
Let's go down to stratification here. In general, air pressure and density decrease with altitude in the atmosphere. However, the temperature has a more complicated profile with altitude and may remain relatively constant or even increase with altitude in some regions. Because the general pattern of the temperature altitude... That's true. That's interesting, because if you're up in a plane, you imagine it being very cold outside of the windows, right? But then when you picture... a spaceship coming back from space, you picture it burning up in the atmosphere, so it does seem to get hotter further up.
I thought the burning is because of the speed, not necessarily because of it's cold, because it is cold up there.
I don't know. It says it varies. Let's read on.
Yes. and I'm just going by the experience of playing. Of being on a plane, and then you see the little ice crystals formalize.
I'm confident it's cold outside of a plane, but way further up.
Confident it's cold outside.
When you're coming...
know that song?
No.
Baby, I'm confident it's cold outside. You know that?
And then you get sucked out of a plane.
Frank Sinatra, I think.
Oh, yeah. But when someone's coming back from space, they always say burning up in the atmosphere. So is it like so cold it's burning?
Oh, interesting. No, I think it's due to the speed. It's due to gravity.
Interesting.
I think. Can we try to find out from here?
Yeah, we'll try to find out. However, the temperature has a more complicated profile with altitude and may remain relatively constant or even increase with altitude in some regions. See temperature section below. All right, let's go down to temperature section. The temperature behavior provides a useful metric to distinguish atmospheric layers. In this way, Earth's atmosphere can be divided into 5 main layers: troposphere, stratosphere, mesosphere, thermosphere, and exosphere. The altitudes of the 5 layers are as followed. Let's do miles here. Exosphere is the highest.
Okay, that's what I thought.
400
it's
and
like
it's
exterior.
big. 440 to 6,200 miles. The thermosphere is only 50 to 440 miles. Mesosphere, 31 to 50 miles. So that's pretty small. Stratosphere, 7 to 31 miles. And then the troposphere, 0 to 7 miles.
Is the atmosphere right outside of that, or is the atmosphere the beginning? Because you know how they say, like,
The beginning.
The beginning.
The atmosphere of Earth, commonly known as air, is
So
the
that's-
layer
okay,
of
so that's-
gases retained by Earth's gravity.
That's layer 1.
Yeah,
ready,
layer one
layer 1.
is ready layer 1. And then you breathe in the Earth's atmosphere. The atmosphere of Earth protects life on Earth by creating pressure, allowing for liquid water to exist on the Earth's surface, absorbing ultraviolet solar radiation, warming the surface through heat retention, and reducing temperature extremes between day and night.
Pretty beautiful.
It is pretty mind-blowing that we exist and that Earth exists.
Because, I mean, we can all do amazing things with a little bit of pressure.
We need the pressure.
Right.
Evidently.
Yeah.
But, I've seen these other planets, and they're not looking so healthy.
No, they're not. We gotta need an outreach program for a different...
For Mars?
For even further than that.
Get on it.
Do you think we'd live on the moon first or try to go in some, like, spaceship?
This is interesting. I've listened to podcasts about what do you mean go to some spaceship?
Meaning, like, when we have to exit Earth, and we will have to exit Earth.
We will have to exit
we,
Earth.
like, eventually try to live in, like, the moon or Mars? Or do you
Mars.
think, like, a very high elite level of, like, people with enough money to, like, have the funds to have a ship go on for another 50 to 100 years or something?
But they got to get somewhere. I guess if you have enough water on the ship, you can recirculate it and clean it and just keep peeing and drinking.
I was just told by a friend of a friend who's a friend of a pilot.
I hope that friend is wikipedia.org.
And they suggest to not order coffee on an airplane because it's water that's being, like, reused. It's not, like, clean.
I always order coffee on an airplane.
I've only done it once, but now
never
again.
It
Yeah,
for me, man.
I know. I'm sorry.
Sometimes I like to just live ignorantly.
Yes, but that we can't do that in a world of Wikipedia.
Oh man! But this was a friend of a friend of a friend of a pilot.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know. That sounds like a game of telephone at that point.
Well,
but
they're suggesting don't get your water in a plastic bottle. That's all.
Okay, so here's the temperature. The division of the atmosphere into layers mostly by reference to temperatures discussed above. I didn't really get that, actually. Temperature decreases with altitude, starting at sea level, but variations in this trend begin above 11 kilometers, where the temperature stabilizes over a large vertical distance through the rest of the troposphere. In the stratosphere, starting above about 20 kilometers, the temperature increases with height. So then it starts getting hotter.
Which makes sense. Heat rises, right?
Wait, but no, you said things are burning up because of the speed, but it's getting hotter in that area too.
Right.
Okay.
I'm not contradicting myself. I'm just saying.
You're refusing to contradict.
Yeah, I'm refusing to contradict myself. I'm merely stating that it makes sense that there is the level, the temperature, I should say, rises as we go up a little bit. Not to a burning level.
I think you're thinking of this incorrectly.
Okay. Let's think about it.
You're saying because heat rises.
I'm saying because heat rises, yes, that makes sense. But I'm saying when you mentioned a shuttle coming down, of why it's burning up, I don't think it's because of those temperatures being at a higher altitude. It's because of the gravity, because of how fast they're going down. The speed.
We'll never know, but
we will never know.
We'll never know. But I think the ozone layer protects the Earth from the sun's immense heat.
Oh, yeah.
And that's why it's hotter, like further up. Let's find out.
The immense heat and the certain amount of rays, right?
Yeah, you got to bring your sunglasses.
I have to.
In the stratosphere, starting above about 20 kilometers, the temperature increases with height due to heating within the ozone layer, caused by the capture of significant ultraviolet radiation from the sun by the dioxygen and ozone gas in this region. Oh, so it's like holding the heat in that area, which does kind of explain why you never see them burning up once they're in space.
Right.
No burning up in space. You got to break through that layer, the ozone layer, I guess. Still, another region of increasing temperature with altitude occurs at very high altitudes in the aptly named thermosphere above 90 kilometers. Okay, that's the atmosphere of Earth and the stratosphere and all the layers. Do you want to go somewhere else here, Jheisson?
What else? What else is in there?
Oh boy.
Well, I mean, let's stay grounded. And let's try to. What's in the hour level? Do they have a little bit?
Do you want to know about the evolution of Earth's atmosphere?
Yeah, it wasn't all just. I bet it wasn't 5 layers all the time, right?
The earliest atmosphere, the first atmosphere, consisted of gases in the solar nebula, primarily hydrogen. There were probably simple hydrides such as those now found in the gas giants, Jupiter and Saturn. Oh, we all know them as the gas giants.
We know them, but what's nebula again? Like, what is nebula? I only know
the
it
solar
from
nebula?
Yeah, like I only know it as like a space term, and then I believe it's a character in the Guardians of the Galaxy.
Oh, so the solar nebula, when I clicked on it, it took me to formation of the planets.
Is that still under nebula?
Well, that's where Wikipedia took me, and I don't question Daddy Wikipedia.
But what's the title?
Formation of the planets.
Formation of the planet.
Under the same article, though, I believe.
So nebula...
I'm not entirely sure what nebula is.
We need to find out.
We don't need to.
I would like to find out. I have no idea what it
we
is.
found out nothing about the earliest atmosphere, and we're on formation of the planets. The various planets are thought to have formed from the solar nebula, the disc-shaped cloud of gas and dust left over from the sun's formation. So the sun formed, then there was the little nebula, and I think that's why we rotate around the sun, maybe?
So maybe nebula is like post-star, because it's after a star blows up, correct?
Well, let's keep reading.
Okay.
The currently accepted method by which the planets formed is accretion, in which the planets began as dust grains in orbit around the center protostar. Through direct contact and self-organization, these grains formed into clumps up to 200 meters, 660 feet in diameter, which in turn collided to form larger bodies. These gradually increased through further collisions, growing at the rate of centimeters per year over the course of the next few million years. That is mind-blowing that the Earth just started as like a bunch of specks and just keeps spinning and crashing into each other. And then, now we're here recording this stupid podcast based on that.
Put us in a blender for another couple of million years.
Yeah.
See what else we can come up with. That's basically what it did.
When you think of this in that big of a term, they're always talking about, speaking of Earth Day, like global warming and the save the planet, and it's kind of like, yeah, we're all gonna die, and this thing's just gonna keep moving.
Yeah,
And there'll be someone else, some alien life form recording a podcast millions of years from now.
they might have like a WikiU reboot. They might listen to
I hope so.
to our podcast.
We got to put it on a golden record and shoot it into space.
And then they're gonna hear it, and they're gonna be like, "Whoa, we got to reboot it. Let's get
the best
of the best aliens."
Yeah. One of them that can kind of read and one that can kind of pay attention.
A little bit of both, the best of both worlds, you know?
Okay, is there anything else that we should go to here, Jheisson, or do you want to wrap it up?
Let's wrap it up. We're in college, so it's always good to wrap it up.
Okay, we've heard that before. All right, so then that's it. That's the episode.
That's wonderful. Can I, let's see, what are my final thoughts? I'm going to Springer you.
Oh, what's that mean?
You don't remember Jerry Springer? He would give you your final thought at the end?
Oh, would he like sit in the audience?
No, it would be, I can tell it was like taped after or before, you know, like just by himself. But anyways, he would just take it into a serious tone, whatever craziness. Just
after all the chairs had flown and Steve came out and had to hold people back. So what's the final thought here, Jheisson?
Look, the final thought for today is we got to stay learning and stay burning.
My final thought is we got to figure out where to get some weather balloons and start floating stuff into the air and see what happens.
Well, I'll tell you what, if we do and we go up, don't hold your breath. So we won't survive. It won't matter if we hold our breath or not.
Oh.
At some point, right?
At some point.
It's too hot to breathe up there.
Or too cold.
Ooh.
All right, let's wrap this up. Jesus Christ.
Hey, I'm all wrapped up, guys. Thank you guys for joining us once again on Wiki University. Friendly reminder to please rate and review us on Apple Podcast and or Spotify. And also just tell a friend. If you've enjoyed this episode, we'll see you next time.
And follow us on Instagram at Wiki University or on TikTok at Wiki University. Bye.
Konnichiwa. Or that's I love it.